morning here. It's in the high 30s. 1 or 2 mile an hour winds, perfect. I mean, the birds be talking this morning, but I think it's a little bit too cold. Day 2 of the 2022 Kentucky turkey season here. So far, turkeys 1, Sean 0. It's a long season. And here comes the gang. Oh, heck yeah.
Down goes Frazier.
Well, today's the 4th day of the season, and that group of jakes are the first birds that I've seen within range. I've seen some hens off in the distance, and I've had just a few gobbles here and there opening weekend, but that was it. All right, here we go. So on the board for 2022, about a 3.5 inch beard, typical Jake, you know. And when a plan comes together, That was fun. So, confirmed with the landowner again this year. They come out here and hunt, and first time stepping foot on the farm this spring. It is 6:12, so I've been out here for about 2.5 hours total, maybe 3. 25 to 27 yard shot, I don't know, something like that. Nice. So we got some friends coming into town tomorrow from Georgia, and we're gonna hunt by water. We're gonna take the new canoes up the creek. So I'm gonna have just as much fun filming for those guys. I just want to get one under my belt. It's been a rough season. It's been cold, windy. Birds haven't been talking too much, and it's been kind of just a weird season. But man, these are beautiful birds. Never get tired of it. You want to keep the water inside the crate, don't you, Boots? That was great. Fantastic.
Yeah, good stuff.
Let's see what you got over here.
Oh, man, that's a bad one. I won that one. That's not too bad.
Should have brought hick boots. What do you guys think?
I'm having a great time. Definitely should have brought my waders. Had a great time.
What do you guys think of the morning so far?
Dude, so close. We were late.
It's beautiful too.
We were late.
See him? Okay. So the one on the left's a Jake, it looks like. We're gonna double check and see if the one on the right's a Saddler. It's right there. Don't move. I'll tell you when, okay? I'm gonna get you pretty low for a second first, okay? Slowly bring it up. Aim for the base of the head, okay? Take the safety off. Hold on. Tell me when you're shooting. I'm just gonna put my ears. Take him. Yes. What do you have to say?
I did it, baby.
Oh my gosh. Dude.
I videoed it from back here too.
That happened so fast. Everett.
Freaking heard him fly across.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Alright guys, what do you think?
That was intense.
That's what we came here for, man.
Love it.
Incredible. So, can I tell the story?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Alright, so
I'll give you the honors.
I actually sat behind the blind because I had to help come get the decoy set up. And Sean was calling. He asked me to go get the decoy. I ran and brought it, set it up. We had heard this bird gobble probably 15 or 20 minutes ago while we were kayaking down the creek. Sean was just blind calling. We got him to blow up once. And it was so sick because we slid up here as he gobbled one more time, thought he was gone. We were assuming he was here in this field. And just about that time, Sean started saying, I really think maybe he was across the creek on the other side. And I heard right behind me, probably 20 yards. Sean said, how close? I was like, 20 yards, dude. And Sean just opened the blind a little bit. He was like, he's right there. He said, get your gun up, Noah. Insane, bro.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
This is what it's all about.
Noah, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
That's your first bird.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for having us.
Used one of the custom calls that you provided when you came up.
Eddie McRae's Riverman Customs.
It's a really great way of hunting deer and turkeys is by water, right? Not a lot of guys go to some really prime spots just because there's water. There's a lake, a reservoir, a river, and that shouldn't serve as a barrier. And what better way to access some of these birds that are tucked in, isolated away from any road, only navigable by a waterway than a new canoe. So we were able to slip in here. The trip into this food plot took us a good 40-45 minutes longer than I anticipated, which really blows because we had 3 gobblers along the stretch of this creek that probably would have at least 1 or 2 out of the 3 dropped into this food plot at first light. But hey, you know, 1 in the hand's better than 2 in the bush. So we had a great morning. We saw a lot of toms. We saw some hens. We had some close calls. And we were just in the blind. Noah and I were just talking about, you know, the possibility of calling a bird across a barrier, be it a fence line, a steep ravine, a ditch, a waterway. And I said, if a bird's by himself, it can be done. But if he has hens, you're better off to get on the other side, on the same side of that barrier as the bird, and then coax him in. So the length of a beard or the weight of the bird is irrelevant. It's about the memory. It's about the challenge. If it was easy, it wouldn't be as rewarding. So this is now your 4th year turkey hunting for both you guys, right?
Yep.
So, and then the first time out here in Kentucky, we got her done. Pretty awesome.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't even, you know, even though we came all the way up here and this is the first day and your first bird, we still worked for it. I mean,
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
a bunch of miles on the creek and actually quite a few on foot today to make this happen. And honestly, it just makes it that much more worth it.
Yeah, a lot of heartbreak, but in the end, it's definitely worth it.
Good morning, day 2. So yesterday was awesome. We actually got one. So Noah was able to kill his first bird yesterday off the creek, which was incredible. But that was actually on the way back out that we killed that bird. So this morning we actually changed it up a little bit. Yesterday we came all the way around this huge horseshoe on the creek under 2 bridges. ridges over all these rocks. We ended up on the edge of a big ridge with a big flat field at the bottom of it, and the creek runs right between the two of them. Above the ridge is a field, and so it's a really smart idea. We ended up setting up here on the field, and fortunately Sean already had a blind here, which was great. So we parked the kayaks back here, crossed all the way up onto this hill. And you know what? Sure enough, there's a giant tom gobbling down in that field. So we got all these barriers. We got the trees, we got the ridge, we got the creek, we got a fence, and then we got that flat down there. But he is going nuts. So rather than paddling all the way around there, we're going to slide down this ridge. Hopefully find a spot we can cross the creek, get set up around the fence, or at least call the bird to us. Something like that, but we're going to use the creek to try to make this happen again. So we changed spots slightly. Still about 5 miles from where we were before, and pretty much felt like this place was dead until we walked over a hill and immediately saw a big tom in between 2 oak trees, drop down on our knees, drag back. We've called probably, 10, 12 times, but because of this ridge and the wind direction, the bird was right in the middle of the field, never even heard us. So we just made a big circle around, bumped into him, dropped back, set up, and we'll hope for the best from here. Hopefully he didn't see us. All right. Well, it's about 4 o'clock. As you can see, we've changed clothes, and we're in a completely different location. Unfortunately, that bird did see us, and it was over, so we kind of made our way out of there, regrouped, actually went and watched some horse racing. That was pretty cool. Had some food, and we're back out here. Different location. This is really cool, though, because this is one giant wheat field, basically, that Sean actually just killed a bird in like 3 days ago. So when he saw that bird come in, he said there was like 3 or 4 more with it, so we're kind of hoping those guys are still around. There's a creek bottom to our right with some big trees. We're hoping this is a good roost location where they can kind of launch off and get up there. So hopefully I get my first bird today. I'm excited. Sean, can I put my knee up in my cup?
Yeah. Well, that's not a problem. He's 500 yards off. Giant strutter, bud. That's a big bird. He just gobbles yet?
He did. I saw his head go down the mat.
You can put the binos up. Just go nice and slow. He's a big, big bird.
So,
A little louder.
we're officially in the chips at this moment. No, nothing guaranteed, but we've got a really big tom at about 350, 400 yards. And Sean's been doing some great calling. Birds strutting like crazy for us.
It's a giant. Let's hope this gets done right now. Well, a bird that I saw 2 years ago is a smoke phase hen, and she's still alive. There she is, about 500 yards off. Oh, that is super cool.
That bird is next level.
I found the footage of that encounter with that smoke phase hen from 2020. What an amazing bird. Okay, you see him? You see him? All right, Everett, what's going on? Get us up to speed.
A little bit of frustration, only because this is the biggest turkey I've ever seen coming from Georgia. Obviously, being kind of new to turkey hunting, I've only been doing it a few years now. And this is a huge Kentucky bird, probably 25 pounds or something like that. I mean, really big. But we just could not get him to come to us. He was interested in the decoys, hung out for a while, but finally when we got halfway up here, we got a text from Noah that there was a hen in the field. And obviously, that's what's keeping him on this side. So we busted it up the hill. As you can see, it's a good thing turkey can't smell because I am really sweaty right now. But the bird's 100 yards out in the middle of the field in a corner. So we don't have really an angle on him. And there's apparently a hen with him too. So what we're trying to do right now is wait for him to get over that hill, try to make some kind of move, burn this daylight out. If nothing else, try to get him on a roost for tomorrow morning. I'm learning a lot from Sean, but I really hope we can make this happen tonight. If we can somehow kill this bird right here, it'll be the craziest thing, but I just don't see it.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Closer. Can you see his head? Can you see his head? Can you see his head? Take him. Get up there, get up there. You got him.
Oh, shit! Yeah! Wow!
You got him, baby.
Give me some, baby. Yes, I'm hooked. I'm a turkey hunter. Oh my God. Thank you, bird.
Oh, that was awesome.
Thank you, Jehovah God. Oh my God.
That was awesome.
Whew.
Well, let's do a recap. What happened?
In summary, how bad do you want it? Oh my gosh. This is my first turkey, and
What a first, huh?
he is a stud, and I mean, I just like to earn stuff. And Noah and I worked for our birds this week, and I just made a like 40-yard shot from laying down, and we crawled, what, like 110 yards probably?
Yeah, well, we left the decoys, we're talking about closer to 400 yards.
Oh my
after it's all
gosh.
said and done.
He's still shaking out a little bit, but he's got a big tail.
Let me see the hooks on him. I'm telling you, that's a 4-year-old bird.
Big one.
That's a 4-year-old Tom, baby.
Big one.
I am shaking so hard. Look at that beard, dude.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh. I mean, look at this bird. Just so much respect for an old bird like this. This bird is smart. He owned this top part of this hill. I mean, we watched him for 3.5 hours, and I got to give it up to Dr. Sean, because I did not think this was going to work at all. He's dealing with a rookie turkey hunter.
Two rookie turkey hunters.
Dude, double in 2 days.
Yeah, man.
Noah's first bird, my first bird, and look at this thing. I mean, this is a big bird. I'm a 6'2", 210-pound man, and this is what it's all about right here. I mean,
It's huge.
oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. Oh. And my old school basic Benelli Nova pump with Winchester, just off the shelf, not anything super expensive, just your regular, was it double X or whatever,
Yeah.
from Walmart. And I just smoked what would be in Georgia a lifetime bird.
Yeah.
For most people.
For sure.
It's my first one,
That's so
which
awesome,
means
man.
I messed up probably.
I went
Thank
down
you, Sean,
from here.
so
You're
much,
welcome,
bro.
bud.
This
man.
is unbelievable experience.
That was awesome. That was really incredible to watch from back there.
Oh my gosh, man.
849, 50 yards.
What I guess.
So I got to give it to Sean too, because I would not have taken that shot. I didn't trust myself enough. And he was like, take it. Can you see his head? Take it. And I basically he was walking sideways. I just set my old school fiber optic bead. I don't even have a sight on my gun. I just set it where he was walking and pinched off. Oh my gosh. Probably 3.5 hours ago, I heard a gobble. Said to Sean, I think I hear one down to the right of where we were set up, but it sounded way off. And within 10 minutes, this absolute giant shows up at about 400 yards. Sean gets his attention. He notices our decoys. He struts for 30 minutes
yeah.
at least. Noah's watching him through the binoculars. Finally, we decide to make a move on him. Make a run. At this point, he's 250 yards away, but he just would not move. And we worked our butts off to try to get in front of him, and he beat us. He ended up coming this way. We were all the way over here. So we end up going back to our decoys, trying to regroup because he's over the hill now, way out of sight. And we get to watch the coolest thing, which is him work 2 birds on top of this hill, in and out of this, just kind of soft ditch right here. And Sean cracks up this crazy idea, which was to cut off the white hen that you'll see if you haven't already, the other hen that was over here, cut them off, get up.
Why? Why did we want to cut them off?
Really smart, because he realized that if those hens came in, they would either alert him to us, which was very likely, or he was going to be so content with them that we couldn't call him. And so we end up cutting them off, pushing those hens that direction. We're dead in the middle of the field, totally exposed. And what do we see? But one of these hens pop her head up, and we froze. And I said, Sean, it's him. And just to the left of him, this giant shows up, sticks his head up, and we just softly ease down to the ground. Took probably 30 seconds, and we see this fan and that's when we all realized, like, he was still killable, even though I did not realize it at that point. But Sean said, let's start making a move on this bird. We crawled 83 yards, and I took a 51-yard shot. This is my first turkey of my life. He has an 11-inch beard, 1.25 spurs, a giant
4-year-old
fan.
bird, yeah.
And that's the first time I've ever pulled the trigger on a turkey, and it was just Walmart ammo. This is a pump action shotgun. It doesn't have a scope, 12 gauge. Just took him down. Like, this is the coolest hunt of any kind I've ever had.
Yeah.
Incredible.
The reason why we cut those hens off is because, instead of having 5 sets of eyes, I wanted to have 3 sets of eyes. So it stacks the odds in your favor. And there's a dip in this field. So this tom was either just over the crest or on the next hill over. I've hunted this farm for years, so I know how the lay of the land is. So we went and we stayed in this little bottom, and luckily he spotted the hen. I did not think that they would be this close to this crest 30 minutes later after we decided to go after them, but they were still here. And before we left the corner of the field, which is where they normally roost, which is why we started off there, I asked you, I said, what do you think the percentages of success are? Now, that's the question I was going to ask you. So, 0 to 100, what do you think the chances were, and where your mindset was when we were in that corner?
Honestly,
that field?
Honestly, what I was positive was going to happen was that we were going to ease up here and he was going to be gone, over this hill and gone. But we were going to have an opportunity to figure out where he roosts and maybe get a shot at him in the morning. I did not think there was any chance, 0 chance, that we would kill him tonight.
And what did I say? What percentage?
75.
75. So, had we not killed them, the plan was to go and work our way through this little like a saddle, between this hump and that hump in the field. Work our way to the tree line, and then slowly ease our way down and spot him, hopefully, in the next valley, and then burn up the next hour of daylight and just watch him go to the roost and set up within 50 to 100 yards of him tomorrow. Well, that whole plan got interrupted with plan B, and that was like, let's just go after him, belly crawl. And he put on a beautiful shot and dropped him like a sack of potatoes.
83-yard belly crawl that I probably did like as fast as I possibly could do it. I mean, I was dead. I was breathing so hard. And honestly, when you're using, an old school stock fiber optic sight, I really didn't know that shot was going to work. But Sean pretty much just said, do it.
I think we have
one shell, baby.
Turkey hunter for life now.
Yeah, 100%. 2 of them, actually.
Hey, man. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Incredible weekend in Kentucky. I am so stoked and ready to come back. We got to hunt out of the kayaks. We probably walked, I feel like, 8 to 10 miles in the last 2 days. I mean, it's felt like that.
Yeah.
The first bird. It's a little after 7 o'clock. We have a hen. About 45 yards. We should check out my decoys right now. Man, she is posturing big time.
gobbler would just show up. We'd be in business. Alright. So I filmed that tree because that's the tree where the big gobbler was roosted in about 5-6 days ago. And I hunted this farm with a couple friends up from Georgia. And Thursday, Friday, 2 days back to back, we got birds for both Noah and Everett. So now I'm back at it with the old stick and string, trying to get my second bird with the bow. Now what you want to see? Well, we're getting close to the time when the birds are going to start to linger in and around their roost sites. So if something's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next 15-20 minutes probably, I'm guessing. I heard a gobble north of me and then 2 gobbles south of me. That was like 45 minutes ago. It's going to get down to the 30s tonight, which is crazy for the end of April. Here in Kentucky anyway. In Wisconsin, from where I'm from, that's not unheard of at all. Heck, it could even snow in April. But I mean, it's perfect. It's almost dead calm. It's cool. I mean, the birds should be talking tonight, but that's why they call it hunting, not killing. We're trying to roost a bird tonight, and I'm bringing my best buddy in the world, my little master turkey hunter right here. Hey, bud. How you doing? He's excited. I'm trying to get one to gobble before dark. Right there. Yes. Did you hear that, bud? That was a gobbler. That's awesome. We pulled into the second spot on the far west side of the farm. And I got out real quiet, glassing along the tree line. I spot one on the limb. I have a ground blind. Not 150 yards away from that bird. High five. High five. Alright, so I got into this blind
at a decent time. It's just that all the birds, sounds like 5 or 6 toms. Man, it's a big group. And they all pitched off and went down across the creek onto the neighbor's horse field. The pasture down there, it's real short grass, and they can land and just strut out there all morning. Pretty much impossible to call back up across the creek and then up the hill unless there happens to be a straggler that's on my side of the creek. It's gonna be tough, but it's a beautiful morning. They talk for about half an hour.
The effectiveness of Vuni camouflage is just unbelievable. It has a lot of negative space and blends in perfectly, even in an ocean of green.
I see you, buddy. Now, what's your plan? Spotted him. He's up on the roost. He's about 300 yards from my blind, so I'm just gonna watch and see what he does. I got another bird that's on my side of the river coming up towards the field, so I gotta make a decision on what to do. So here's the latest. Those 2 hens over my left shoulder disappeared about 45 minutes ago. And the whole time, the whole morning, the last hour and a half, I'd say, there's been a gobbler down. He's on my side of the river, but he's at the very bottom of the hill and then down in this valley, and he's gobbling like crazy. I left the blind for about 15 minutes. I went about 175 yards down the hill and struck him up again. He shut up for about 15-20 minutes, and I went down there and did some really aggressive cutting and yelping and got him fired up, and now he's probably gobbled 25-30 times in the last 10 minutes. The bird from this morning. This is not the bird down on the bottom. This bird is the one that I saw on the roost earlier this morning. He's coming in from behind me.
It was exciting to have this encounter with this giant gobbler, but also frustrating. So this is actually, at this point in the season, the 3rd gobbler that I've had within easy shotgun range. But I already decided after shooting that Jake earlier in the season that I was going to tag my 2nd bird with a bow, or it wasn't going to happen at all.
He's about 60 yards away from me now. That's the bird that I spotted on the roost this morning. And that's the bird I've been like playing Mickey Mouse with all day yesterday. All I need is that group of 3 hens to come a little bit closer. And they'll fall behind them, obviously, so I can't call it too aggressive. I just hope they drift in this direction. He sees my Jake decoy. He can't see my hen because the blind is in the way. But he's right there. Man, he looks awesome. There's a possibility I could stalk him once he goes over the hill. As long as his fan is covering his head.
We're getting down to the wire here, so once the hens disappeared off that steep drop-off, I decided to attempt a stalk. The base of the pine trees below him are a good 6 feet below the edge, so once he took a few steps over the lip, I left the blind to give it a shot.
It drops off somewhat steep, but as I'm popping like a jack-in-the-box over the top of the hill, you have to go really slow. And I saw the one hen. I couldn't find the tom. Man, that was exciting. Looks good. It's 11 o'clock. I just got to the property. I just set the decoys up. There's a gobbler that just gobbled. The only problem is, I don't know what my bow release is. So if this bird comes in, I'm gonna have to shoot him with my fingers. There he is. He's right there. Oh my God, he's right there.
what a bummer. After realizing how far off the shot was at 5 yards, I wasn't about to take another one at even further distance. So because I didn't want to spook him off, instead of reaching for my slate call, I just threw out a couple soft yelps with my voice. And if by miracle he drifted back into the decoys, I would have aimed down the length of the arrow shaft instead and readjusted, but it became obvious pretty much at this point it was over with. So my one opportunity with the bow this season had passed, so I just enjoyed filming him do his thing.
Well, I think I'm going to call it a day. It's been an amazing 2022 turkey hunting season here in Kentucky. But today's the 8th of May. And after setting up the decoys and getting just ready to step into the blind, I hear that bird talk. I get set up, get the camera on, realize I don't have this. And the rest is history. But hey, the rest of my season was a fun, safe hunt. Had lots of footage, close encounters, and I'm already looking forward to next season. So there's something special about turkey hunting, man. It's just an adrenaline rush. Hear them gobble and watch them strut into a field, come in your decoys. I mean, had I put an arrow through that bird, it would have been just this cherry on the sundae. It was already an amazing experience. You know, the plan worked. I was only 99% prepared. Everything else was good. That's why they call it hunting, not shooting. So I'm gonna pack up the blind, head out, and already looking forward to next season.